All right, today on Hodozer Garage, we're going to do a tool review. I've got a new electric impact that I want to give a try, and we'll compare it against my old pneumatic just for kind of, it's apples and oranges, but apples and apples type comparison. Different power source, but same tool. So, should be interesting. Either way, I'm keeping the tool, but I am real curious to see how it compares to the pneumatic gun, because pneumatic tools have been used effectively for a very long time and aren't necessarily going away. So let's see what happens. Here are the subjects of today's video. On the right is a Ryobi 1+ 18 volt cordless 1/2 inch impact, and on the left is a Craftsman professional pneumatic 1/2 inch impact wrench. As you can see, the Ryobi impact's brand new. I've literally just taken it out of the box, plugged the new battery in. It's one of the newer lithium HP 3 amp hour batteries. Supposed to have a little more power to them. We'll test it out and find out. As far as the impact itself, looks kind of like a power drill, except for it's got a 1/2 inch drive on the front there. It's got 3-speed control up here, and directional controls this switch right here. It does have some LEDs on the front right here that are supposed to, help you see as you're working on things in tight spaces. We'll find out how well they work. I haven't put any power to this yet, so I have no idea how bright they are. All right, so the Ryobi impact, again, I haven't had a chance to use, but it is comfortable to hold. It's got a rubberized grip, not contoured like the Craftsman, but still not too bad to hold. It does feel heavier than it though, partially probably because of this battery on the back. My guess is it's about 1/2 pound heavier than the Craftsman, but what I'm thinking is we'll throw them on a scale and find out. And here's the comparison. Totally opposite end of the spectrum. It's a pneumatic powered tool instead of electric. It's a 1/2 inch drive Craftsman impact wrench. It's not a $600 snap-on wrench. It's not a $60 Harbor Freight wrench. But I think at the time I paid about $200 for it. It's been a great impact. It's got the main body is composite. The rest of it is metal. As you can see by all the scratches, it's been used plenty, and it's been a great impact. As with most pneumatic impact wrenches, nothing real fancy about it. It's got a dial on the back to select forward and reverse. There's 3 forward settings for power and 1 for taking bolts off. So we'll use this to compare a few different things against the Ryobi and see which I like more. Okay, first off with the Craftsman gun. Here it is. It's an impact wrench. It is a little weighty. We'll weigh both guns just to see, how they compare. But most impact wrenches are a little weighty. One thing that, at least at this particular point in time, I don't have the hose connected, but that is, when you're using it, obviously a necessary part of a pneumatic gun, which can be cumbersome at times if you're trying to get into a spot and you're fighting, the hose as well. One big downside to pneumatic tools in general. But at the same time, people have been using them for years with great effectiveness. So at this point, I'm not going to necessarily say it's, a mark against it, but it is just a fact of a pneumatic gun. Other than that, pretty simple. That knob is real easy to turn to switch between, forward and reverse. Other than that, like I said, it is about as basic as it gets. All right, here's the weight test. We've got a bathroom scale. Nothing fancy, it's just what I have. First off, we're going to do the Craftsman gun. If I can get the stupid thing to turn on. There we go. All right, Craftsman gun. 4.6 pounds. All right. Ryobi gun. 5 pounds. I was off by 1/10 of a pound. So, as I suspected, Ryobi gun is heavier. You know, if you're using it for a long period of time, it may mean more fatigue, but at least for my home, you know, shop use, not going to make a huge difference to me, but for someone that might want to use it more, it could make a difference. I would guess that most electric impacts, whether it be, you know, Milwaukee, Skill, DeWalt, Ryobi, whatever, I would guess they're all going to be in that weight range, just due to what's required to turn a electric drill essentially into an impact wrench. Okay, so here's the actual power test. We've got the wheel on one of my Dodge Durangos. Lug nuts are torqued to 115 foot-pounds, so it should make the impact wrench work. And we'll start with the electric and see what happens. All right, the Ryobi didn't struggle too much. Now let's see what the pneumatic gun does at 90 psi. Oh, wrong way. Well, I'd say that the Ryobi wins this round for sure. Barely struggled with the lug nuts. The pneumatic gun did struggle some. Admittedly, my air source isn't great, so that's going to be part of it, but the Ryobi gun didn't struggle at all. All right, so as far as that cordless pneumatic comparison goes, after you saw me pull that wheel off, I did the full front brake job on that Durango. You know, battery's still fine, you know, had plenty of charge, pulled the shocks off the Jeep, did a few other things, and still tons of battery left. So, you know, not too hindered by battery power on that thing. Didn't have to drag around a hose, which is kind of cool. You know, it is a little heavier, which if I was using it all day, you know, might get annoying after a while. If I was still working in a shop professionally, the pneumatic gun being a little lighter and a little more durable, you know, I'd probably still go that route. You know, the one thing, as you saw, you know, if your air supply is hindered in any way, the pneumatic guns tend to suffer like mine did there, which, you know, my compressor is a little worn out, a little tired, needs replaced, and sometimes, you know, I need a little extra zip, and that electric gun seems to have it. So, you know, as far as that goes, I'm gonna use it for that. You know, I'm not gonna get rid of my pneumatic gun like I said before, but I think I'm gonna start using that electric one more. You know, that being said, if I'm doing something where for whatever reason I might be kicked around or set down a little hard, I'll probably use the pneumatic one because it just feels more durable than the electric one does. So regardless of brand, whether it's Ryobi like the one I got, or, you know, Milwaukee, DeWalt, whatever, if you work on vehicles at home, I would strongly recommend picking up an electric impact if you haven't already. Other than that, I've got some work to do on the Jeep. I'll make some videos of that here soon, and definitely be sending that out to you guys. Remember to check us out over at Hodozer Off-Road on Facebook and Hodozer Garage on YouTube. And we'll talk to you guys later. Thanks.